How can we love others if we can't even love ourselves? How can we hold compassion for others if we can't hold compassion for ourselves? The war is not coming to you. The war is already in you. People have internal wars with themselves.
Hello, welcome to the next episode of Healing Millions podcast. Today, I have a special guest, and I'm so excited about this episode. Her name is Tina Lyn Fiori. She is a healer, a channeler, an alchemist, and today we are going to receive messages from Intergalactic Federation. How exciting that is. I cannot wait, Tina, to start talking to you and meet the Federation. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I do want to really thank Source Energy. I want to thank Jesus and all the divine masters and teachers and the Intergalactic Federation of the Court of Light for all of the messages that I have received and that we will be talking about today.
I also want to say thank you so much for being on my show, and thank you, Divine, for putting our paths together so we can have this amazing conversation. And I'm so excited about this. Tina, for everybody who is meeting you for the first time and then don't know anything about you, can you share your story, how you became a healer and how you became a channeler?
And thank you for asking me to share that. I think that like a lot of people, when we look back, it's surprising that we're where we are and we follow all those little threads that get us to where we are in life at this moment. So when I look back at my childhood, like many people, we have suffering that we go through, or at least the perception of that. And my mom was very much an inspiration in my life. And she just lived in a family where there was extreme poverty and extreme abuse. And yet this woman was amazing. And she held forgiveness and love and compassion, not only for her family, but for all of society. And so I had the pleasure of not only having the opportunity to deal and overcome with a lot of things, but to have someone that was inspiring in my life to help me do that. So with that being said, I would say it started in 2022 that I started to really seek and want to know more about who I was and my divine path, and went to a shaman who talked to me about automatic writing. And you and I were talking a little bit about that. And not in the sense that someone takes over your hand and writes, but that you ask for guidance, you allow it to come in and you write. And back then I was receiving messages that now that I read, I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's all coming to fruition, what it was saying. And part of that, of what it was being said, was that I had a contract here on Earth to actually bring information. And so that's where it all started. And one of the most significant memories was lying in bed and hearing the fingertips of God fall down upon you. And this is how you know you are touched with love. And I thought, you better sit up and start writing, and the creator was coming in and just talking about that we're not alone, that none of us are alone, and that the creator walks beside each and every one of us in this experience, and just really had that message that I am here. I am always here. I never leave that of which I created, nor would I ever wish to. And that's really when I feel like it really started to sink in that, okay, I'm really receiving these divine messages. And I put it out on YouTube, even though it was very uncomfortable and scary for me. I was so afraid that I was going to be judged, or someone was going to say, well, who do you think you are that the creator's talking to you? But I really didn't receive that. People really received it very well, and they were grateful. So I do encourage people, if you get messages, bring them forth, because a lot of times they are received in love. And if they're not, bring them forth anyways, because you're being asked to. So
I love that. I love you said something very important for our audience. If you have a skills, if you receive messages, you share them with the world. Sometimes we overcomplicate everything and we are standing ourselves in a way because we are judging ourselves, not the world. We are judging ourselves. And when we overcome our own judge, this is the moment when everything changes in our life. And I want to talk about channeling, but before we go into that, I would love for you if you can explain it in your words, what it means to channel and how it really works.
yes. So I didn't realize I was even doing that. So it started honestly with I would even say if you go way back, I always had a knowing. I always had a very close connection with Jesus. And this is not a religious Jesus. This is a Jesus that was my family member, that I knew I was really soul to soul, heart to heart connected with. So it started for me with that knowing. And then when it really moved into the channeling, was when I really could receive information and speak it simultaneously. So I guess you would say it's telepathy. And it's at the quantum capacity, which I didn't even understand what that was. But when we have instantaneous communication with the divine, with consciousness, and that's what this is all about, right? So this is consciousness that we are tapping into, and it has many, many, many layers. And so for me, it comes in instantaneous. That's why people are writing it. And I was just speaking it into my phone. I was just like, wow, but I could tell it was like, I knew it was coming. I had that feeling it's coming, get up, start speaking. And then I could discern like different, consciousness that was speaking to me, whether it would be, God, or whether it would be the Pleiadians, or whether it would be the Intergalactic Federation. I could discern the difference just with that knowing. And so all of it is already in us. We don't realize the magnificence of what we are. And so, a lot of people are saying, it is the soul having a human experience. So the soul already knows all of this. And I think that part of what really allowed me to access this channeling ability was to become in alignment, true alignment. And that was raising my vibrations, getting into a vibrational place where I felt that I was stepping into authenticity and integrity. And the more I did that, the more I received messages to bring forward. And I loved when you said, just let's have fun. Let's bring the joy. It's about the joy. When you're living in the joy, when you're embodying the joy, you really can do this very easily.
That's so true. When I was trying to do energy healing, I think I blocked everything because I wanted to have it in a certain order, following the certain instructions. If I didn't do the step 1, 2, 3, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, this is not going to work. And one of my friends called me out while I was practicing energy healing with her. And she said, oh my God, you're taking this so seriously. Come on, let's have a fun. I was like, oh, okay, let's have fun. The more fun I had, the more playful I became. It was easier for me to deliver messages to people they needed to hear. And I love how you said that everybody is a channel and we all receive messages in a different way. Sometimes we just know them. Sometimes we just sense them. Sometimes we hear voices, and whatever that is, it's really unique to you. I remember when I was a child, I wrote amazing like essays, and everybody was really impressed by that. And now when I go back and think about those essays, they were all channeled. They were all channeled because they were so deep, so profound. My professor loved them so much, and they were even published in school newspapers. But at that time, I didn't know that I was channeling. I found out about that term a few years ago when I got into the world of energy healing, that everybody can channel. We all do that subconsciously or consciously, but we all do that. Sometimes if you have this knowing is inside of you, like, You just know something is going to happen, or you just have a feeling somebody's going to call you, or you just have a feeling what is happening around you. That's also channeling. And I really, really loved how you said that it's all about channeling, um, that we can all do that. So I really want to discuss about something that so many people have, and that's this misbelief and so many like thoughts about, am I channeling this, or am I making things up? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That was also the biggest thing for me. Am I channeling, or am I making things up? What would you say to those people
Yeah.
who are thinking like that?
That's so divinely given. That it's so beautiful, Nina. Thank you for opening that, because honestly, one of the biggest messages that I really believe that I am supposed to bring forth is expand your mind. Expand your mind. I love Suzanne Giesemann, she calls it the BS, the belief system, you know, and even if in the beginning it is you, it's the belief that you can do it, the practice. Anything that we want to do and we become good at takes practice and patience and belief. And I don't know who said it, but the other day it was someone brought up the saying that it's not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. And when you believe, you will begin to see. So yeah, sometimes it may feel like that. It may feel like, oh, this is just me making it up. This is just my imagination. But stay with it and stay open. It's not something you can force. You don't want to force it, but you just want to come with love and with joy and with happiness, and you want to come from a higher level of clarity, which means that just come not from the ego, but come from the curiosity. So really just allow yourself to expand out and just allow what's coming to you to come. And I think another thing is a lot of times people have fear. Fear is going to block that. We don't have to fear. These are not miracles. These are something that we were born with, that is our birthright and that we can do. And I love that the World Wide Web of existence is allowing us to hear from people so that we understand that we all are capable. We all have abilities and we all came in with a divine plan. So yes, just open to it and expand out and practice and have patience, and you will be doing it.
I love that message. Just be open to that. Allow yourself to practice. Be patient with yourself. And I remember my first channeling days were like really interesting because you want to channel, but you don't know how, you know? And you really try to force it, and it doesn't work that way. So I noticed for me, what works really well is just like setting the attention to connect and let go of any attachment and just breathe and just raise your vibration to feel love, and the message will come. Ask a question, a message will come, and be patient. You will not hear immediately. Sometimes when you have a lot of practice, you will hear that immediately. But at the beginning, you just need to be still and listen and raise your vibration. That's all it takes.
Yes. And always ask for the highest good, the highest light to come through. You want to make sure that who you're asking to come through is, of a good intention. But I think that most of us, when we set that, we already come in with that. But I always like to just say, the highest light or the highest wisdom for humanity, may it come forth.
Thank you so much for that reminder. Yes, that's exactly what you need to ask, like for the highest good of all evolved. And I know that you channel Intergalactic Federation. And most people honestly don't know what it is. I didn't even know what that exactly is. And you explained to me um, who they are. And can you please just share with our audience who they are and why they are so interested in humanity?
Yes. So I want to go back just a few steps and just say that I went to Brazil in November. I decided that I wanted to go and learn about spiritist hospitals and community centers. And in Brazil, they merge energy healing with Western medicine. So we were visiting addictions and psychiatric facilities. And it was in Brazil that actually on November 11th at 1:11 in the morning, I started to receive messages. And these messages I was receiving every single day for months. I'd say for 6 months. But in 20 days, I wrote a book. And that book is It Will Come to You, the True Truth of Who You Are. And I was first introduced to the Intergalactic Federation of the Court of Light in Brazil. So I knew nothing about anything about the Intergalactic Federation. So I just want the listener to know that this is something that I didn't have previous information on. I didn't study. I didn't even know that maybe I was curious about it. Um, but that's how they presented themselves to me, their name. And they said, this is the highest tribune of the time space continuum. So I also didn't know what the time space continuum was, you know. So basically, the time space continuum is us, it's Earth, and a lot of people refer to that. So I wanted to just share with the Intergalactic Federation, really what they were saying is that the act of harmonization is happening, that they wanted humanity to be aware of this and to know its truth, and that the whole real purpose is for us to return back to the heart, for us to return back to compassion, love, kindness, and goodness that we are, and that we have been deceived. I mean, it was a clear message that corruption and power and control have overtaken us and that we are blinded by it. And so that we need to return back to ourselves and to the truth of who we are, which is golden and it is love. And yeah, and when we do this, that when we raise our vibrations and we bring in the truth of our existence, we will have even more interaction with them. So I really believe that when you really look up what is the highest tribune, it is who oversees our existence. And they're getting involved. They are getting involved. And I think that's great. And I'm sure they've been involved before, but I think that they're getting involved in a level that is much more bringing awareness to us that this is happening. So I hope that's helpful.
Yes, definitely, it's helpful. This is the message I received recently. Is basically when the whole world is collapsing, and you think, "Oh my God, what is just happening?" Is really start paying attention, like inside of you, like how you feel, and work on yourself. And so many people will say, "Oh my God, I cannot work in myself, when the world is collapsing, everything is going crazy, like people are killing each other." The truth is, the only thing what we can control is how we feel and how we respond to that. And we need to heal the parts of us inside of us so we can raise vibration inside of us. And we are all energetically connected. And the more we work on ourselves, the more we raise the vibration, we are helping others raise their vibration too, because we are all interconnected. And that's so important for people to listen. Like, yes, the media wants us to believe in different messages. I know it's hard, but the more you work on yourself, the more light and peace you can bring to the world. And this is the message I got in the past few weeks, and I just want to share it with everybody. And that was exactly what Intergalactic Federation mentioned to you. And the the thing that is very interesting to me is that we have a more and more contact from the other side. What did they say about that? Why is this happening right now?
It's happening because vibrations are rising, because we are realizing that we're interconnected and that we are globally connecting with each other. And so this is sparking a lot of seeds that are already within us. and consciousness is expanding because this is all consciousness. This is all an illusion that we came to experience for our own evolution. And what a beautiful opportunity that we were able to be given, to be able to have this experience as God experiencing themselves. We are all each other. There is nothing that separates us from each other. We are one unit of love. And when we return back to that, our times will change. We lack nothing. It's only the perception that we lack. The other day when I was coming in from, and I put this in our Diamond Beauties Forever community, from Sunrise, and I was coming in and I heard, you are a kingdom that wishes to never be king, for you have no need for that. For in a kingdom that has no lack, this will always be your truth. And this is what they're saying, that, we are constantly told we lack. We are told this all the time. These are constructs of confusion that are laid down upon us, that we are lacking, that someone's taking something from us, that we are being robbed, that someone else is taking our job, or our home or our money or what we deserve, and that feeds an energy. But the truth is, we lack nothing. We have everything within us. And once we realize that, once we really go into the heart space and work on ourselves, and bring joy to our own lives, then we will spark other people to do the same. But the thing is that we can't make other people see that. I've really learned, in fact, I channeled 3 months and I lost all of it because I kept trying to help someone. I kept trying to change the course of their direction and their evolution because I thought that what they were doing was harmful to themselves. But what I realized is that's not my job. That's not our job here, to change other people. Our job is to really align ourselves and to realize and bring joy into what we really need. And that's all about flow. And flow to me is all about my integrity and my authenticity. And when I can step truly into Tina, which took me 55 years to do, I really became a very happy person, and I started to receive so many gifts, magic almost. Like, how can this be happening when people constantly say you can't make this up? Because the universe is just waiting to align with you. And once you align with yourself, you will see that everything is working for your highest good all the time. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Oh, that's a beautiful message that we already have everything what we need inside of us and everything is working for us. And that's a beautiful message. And I just want to remind people like we came here to experience things as a humans, but we are soul in human body. And if you think about everything what we have in our life, everything is here for us to support us so we can live life we want and experience. And if you think like the sun is rising every single day, we have our trees, we have our birds, everything is here for us to experience our life. How amazing that is. Like we are so much abundant than we believe. We are just focusing on lack because we are taught, we are reprogrammed to focus on lack. But actually, there's so much more that we have in our life. And I just love that message, what you said. We already have everything inside of us. Thank you for that.
Oh, I just wanted to read, the creator, when the creator was speaking, they said, this is your task, to eradicate injustice by bringing love to all. And this is your quest. This is our quest. It's our moment in time. We're here on the precipice of something magnificent. We really are. I mean, not only did we choose to come, but man, we choose to come in such a magnificent time. So this is our moment in time to leave the imprint on the universe of how it shall be done, how healing is accomplished, how eternal blessings are fulfilled. For this is the one time that man's search for happiness will lead to the triumph of the soul. a deliverance that shall be of great magnitude for all that wish to join, and a unity that exalts all mankind back to the return of all existence, that born the spark of what is into all that shall ever be. So I just love that, we're really here at such a magnificent time to experience the collective really rising in its vibration, rising in its knowledge, rising in its love. And we are going to see magnificent things, and our children are going to see them, and that's exciting. It's really exciting. And I think, part of what's happening is that, we're seeing energies. Some energies really want to stay in that lack mindset. They want to be angry, they want to be dominant, they want that. And then you see this other energy that's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to rise up and I'm going to be more than that. And the truth is you can move mountains with compassion. You can move mountains with compassion, and you can change lives with kindness, And so when we start to move back to the truth of that, we will reflect. We're reflectors. We will reflect just something so beautiful to others, and it will be reflected back to us. I looked at what is reality anyways? Reality is whatever we say it is. We are creators. If we say it is peacefulness and love and joy and harmony and healing, then we can create that. And I think we are creating it. One person at a time, you're healing millions. We are creating that.
That's a really, really beautiful message. Like, we all contribute to the consciousness, and we are all here to experience love, and we are here at the most magical time. How amazing that is. Like, I'm so excited to see what is going to unfold in the future. And talking about the future, I know there are some rumors that we are going to have direct contact with aliens. Did Intergalactic Federation talk about that?
They didn't. I haven't had any direct things with that. I feel like, when we even think about aliens, it's all consciousness. It's all
Mhm.
consciousness, and probably half of us are that anyways. I think we've all, many of us have come from other planets. I know that's hard for people to understand, but we exist for all eternity. Even my son, he worries, and I'm like, you have all eternity to accomplish it, you know? And so we're already having that, if we're hearing from the Intergalactic Federation, if you are hearing from the Pleiadians, you're already having that contact. And I know that people in the past have said too that they've seen spaceships and they've seen beings. And yeah, if we want that, we will have it. We can create anything. If we create a consciousness, I think Bashar talks a lot about this. If people follow Bashar, all we have to do is believe it. We have to create it and we have to allow it. And the more people that do that, then it absolutely will happen. And I always bring it back to, I was watching a nature station the other day, and fungi, it chemically talks to ants and tells them to go into a forest and cut certain leaves and bring them back. And then the fungi creates an environment where the ants live. Now, if that can happen, anything can happen. I mean, that's just the truth. Anything is possible. And so do I believe that's going to happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. When enough of us create a consciousness that accepts and allows it to happen, it will absolutely happen. And so that's already happening, Um, and yeah, so I do believe that's probably going to happen, but I haven't been informed of that. I haven't had anything that said this is specifically going to happen.
That's beautiful. I think, like, all these channelers like talking about that we are going to have contact with aliens, but they are going to present themselves to the level that people can accept it at the individual level. Like they will not just come here to overwhelm the population. It's going to be really to the level that people can accept it for
Absolutely.
themselves.
And that's cosmic law. So there are cosmic laws. I just know that. I have a knowing of that. And so, things that happen, it's not random. It's not by accident. This is a free will planet, but there's also cosmic laws. I mean, if we're not going to just go into destruction, I really love in my book, it says the war is not coming to you. The war is already in you. People have internal wars with themselves. That's part of the problem. And I really love that. I felt like one of the main messages from the intergalactic was, for oneness encompasses all of humanity. One must change one's own heart to change humanity. And that's exactly what you just said, Nina. We have to come into our own heart and find self-love first. I mean, how can we love others if we can't even love ourselves? How can we hold compassion for others if we can't hold compassion for ourselves? So yeah, you're not going to see things unless you're at a place in time that you're willing to see them, because that is the way of the creator. That is the way of the wise. And that is the truth of the heart within ourselves. So those are all agreements. So I agree with that 100%.
It's beautiful. I'm so excited. I always believe, yeah, all aliens just living on different planets at this time. Like, that's it. Like, I must come from somewhere else. That's my belief. But uh, Tina, you mentioned something that is so important, that Intergalactic Federation wants us to come back to heart and raise our vibration. Is there any messages they want us to know and receive?
This is perfect timing. I swear that was beautiful. So this is the message. We are rising vibrations to shift into an existence that is in the highest good of humanity, to break down the constructs of confusion and come into a realization that we have been misguided by intentions to do us harm. This is a call back to the heart space. Teaching of manifestation is our return home to ourselves, to be positive, to live in love, to be compassionate, kind, and patient. To love and honor oneself and others is how to create a reality that is reflective of an expansive consciousness that will accelerate you to the return back home, where your true reality exceeds all probability of the love and life you seek. Only compassion and love will help you turn around the destruction, for destruction cannot heal destruction. Only love can heal love. This begins with you. For those that are ready, a new day is dawning. We can live in paradise here on earth. This is how it was designed to be. We are the creators and we can create it. That is the message.
Beautiful message. Thank you so much for sharing this message with us. I thank everybody who is watching and listening. If you got inspired by this podcast episode, please share it with your friends and family members. We want to deliver these messages to as many people as possible. We want to really move, touch, inspire people by the work we do, and also help people heal and live their better life, create better life for themselves and for people around them. So if this episode moved you, touched you, inspired you, please share it with your friends and family members. Thank you, Tina, for being here on my podcast. Thank you for the work you do. And if people want to connect with you, how they can get in touch with you?
Yes. So you can reach me at Soul Energy with 2 E's on the end instead of a Y.com. I'm also on YouTube. I post messages on YouTube. I started to do reels now too, so that they're easier for people to watch quickly. And you can reach me at soulenergy@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tina, for being here today.
And you can get my book
I
too on Amazon, just so you know. It's out there if you want to hear more of these messages, hear from the creator, And yeah, I would encourage you to check it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We will post the link below this video so people can find it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everybody who was watching and listening. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, be brave, shine your light because the world needs that love and light inside of you more than ever. I'm sending you lots of love and big hug. Bye for now.